Jesper, I think in 5 minutes we can start now.
Okay, good.
Hello, Jasper. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Lady Aguinaldo. He's the one communicating with you through email. Thank you.
Okay,
Ito na ko.
Jesper, I think the team is complete. We can start now.
okay, good. Well, good afternoon again to everybody. It
Yes.
was
Good afternoon.
good
Good
that
afternoon.
you would like to participate in this technical training. Of course, we never had a technical training, us in between, so looking forward to that. Of course, the situation is different due to the COVID-19 situation, as you all know. So that's why we're having this online. Normally, I would be the one who travels to you guys to have the technical training, but in this situation, we will do it online. I will go through the agenda step by step, model and sizes, installation, serial numbers. When we have done the installation, then we'll go to the troubleshooting and the service manual. If you have any question while I'm presenting, just feel free to use the icon to raise your hand, and then feel free to ask. When the technical training is done, I will forward you the material that I have been using, so you can use that in the future on your own hand. There will be instead of taking notes and concentrate on that, please use the material that I send. Of course, you're allowed to take notes if you like, but I will send you all informations after our technical training. So good. First, a little bit about our factory or our company. We got about 100 employees, and of course, we are located in a little country up north, in the cold north, called Denmark. And we were founded by Hans-Jørgen Hovmøller in 1977. So a little bit more than 40 years of experience in building ovens. Since the time of 77, of course, the model has developed, and as the latest version, you might recognize this one or this one. So, and of course, we also have the Combi Slim models. Middleby Corporation, we are part of. I believe you know that company quite well. And of course, all the six segments that we covered in, so both from hotel restaurants through to schools, canteens, convenience segment in gas station, takeaway, supermarkets, bake-off, and of course marines. Basically, we got, as you know, two type of ovens. We got the small one for the convenience segment, basically, or normally. It's a small footprint size, 6 to 10 trays in 1-1 gastronome. And of course, we got the larger visual cooking model, covering for both or starting from 6 trays to going up to 20 trays in both 1-1 and 2-1 GN gastronome sizes. If we look at the Combi Slim, we got the two versions, as I said, the small one in the 6 tray and the big one in a 10 tray. And for the visual cooking, we got from the 6 tray up to the 20 tray, covering having 16 and 20. And for the 2-1 GN, it got 6, 10 and 20 trays. See, some guests are coming in. We got electrical and gas heated for the visual cooking models. And for the small models, the Combi Slim, we got the electrical heated ovens. For the Smart Edition, we got the Touch. It's both in the Touch version and in the turn-up version, like this one. If you haven't tried to operate the system, it's quite easy. It's intuitive, like when you use your smartphones. And there is for the end user, there is 3 cooking methods. It's the in manual mode, where you have all these operations. You can have recipes. So you don't want to push the buttons all the time, but make a recipe, and the oven will preheat, heat, use steam automatically, depending on what you have used in your recipe. And last but finally, there's the smart shift solution. So you can say you have a piece of meat that you would like to have tender or red, whatever you like. Then the oven is programmed for cooking this part of the meat, but that's also always set in the program. Touch model is the top model to say, because it's have a bigger memory. It has all up to 500 recipes in 15 steps. You can use the advanced rack timer. So if you would like to set up a menu and put everything in, not at once, but to have the oven run the menu, so all things, eggs, beef, vegetables, they are all finished at the same time and can be served to the customer. We got the Let's Cook version, or the Let's Cook Cloud. I will talk about that later. And then we got the Klima Optima and Combi Smart cooking functionalities, where we use humidity and steam to cook the food. The turn-up version is completely the same oven, but it's a more simple version. You don't got all the functionalities like advanced rack timer, Let's Cook, Klima Optima, but you can still, of course, use hot air and steam mode, stuff like that. But you see, it's more intuitive to use. The handle is, of course, not touch. It's soft key buttons like in the side. Some of you may already know it, and you choose the temperature, time, etc. on the turn-up wheel used here. The memory is only made for 50 recipes in 10 steps. So it's a little bit smaller in memory than the touch version. The models is for the visual cooking is split it up. So you have a K or KPE, CPE, or a bake-off oven, and these are all for visual cooking models. If you only have the Combi Slim, a K or KPE is only an oven with a steam generator. So for Combi Slim models, it will only be C or CPE, and a B and BPE. What determines that it is a K or KPE? This model is having a steam generator and injection steam. So both types of adding humidity to the oven. And the steam generator is, of course, if you need to boil any food fast, it's more effective to steam rice, vegetables, potatoes, etc. It is also possible to steam those food ingredients with injection steam. It will just take a longer time. So a K model is more effective in steaming than a C model. So the C model, of course, is the same as a KP, but without a steam generator. The B or BPE version, that's without injection and steam generator, but basically the same functionalities and operation modes. You can see from the letters if it is a turn-up or a touch oven. If it's one letter, like just K, C, or B, then you know it's a turn-up like this one. It's only a single letter, and the 3-character letter model, that's so all in all, model and sizes, we have the 6, 10, 20 in 11 GN and 6, 10, and 20 in 21 GN sizes. The B models, BPE models, is only for 11 GN sizes. Installation. Are you all with? so long? I'll take the silence as a huge yes. It's when you're installing the oven, it's important that it is done correctly, of course. We have a rate to up to 80% of the errors in the first years, or the faults in the first years, that is related into a bad installation. So if the installation is correct and done as it should be, of course that will give the end customer a better experience of the oven. In our installation manual, you can always see how it's done step by step, and I will go through this. Of course, I will also send the installation manual to you. First of all, if it's a stand, please level the stand. You can turn the feet so it is leveled in all directions. All floors, of course, can be declining, so therefore it is necessary to level out the stand. If it's a table model, it also has to be leveled out, but most of the table is already leveled out. For the visual cooking, you need some distances around the oven to secure a ventilation. I know it's not always that it's possible to do it, because there is limited room in kitchens, and those distances is not always possible to have. But the most important side is the right-hand side, where we have the engine room or all the electronical parts. If you can have a distance on the right head, the left-hand side and the back for 2 inches or 50 millimeters, that will be perfect. At the right-hand side, since there's the engine room and there's a lot of equipment on the oven's side over here, we require a little bit more distance to a wall and other machinery, so up to 2.8 inches or 70 millimeters. Then you will probably notice that if you as a technician will visit a oven in the future, and you have to do service oven that is have 70 millimeters, you have to be very thin to get in there. So please, if possible, to have your job become easier. If you can have a clear distance, a clear operation on the right hand side, you will make your own work easier in the future. If you will have a hot air or hot surface, like a deep fryer or a hot pan, something above 60 degrees on your right hand side, please make sure that it's minimum 40 centimeters, 400 millimeters, 16 inches, just to be sure that the temperature inside the engine room will not be too high. If the temperature inside the engine room will increase, so it's more than 45 degrees, then you will have the customer will have a warning. If the temperature rises to above 60 degrees in the engine room, the oven will shut down, and it can only start when it's cold, below 45 degrees. It's not because the oven is broken, but it's a security that the oven electronics will not burn due to too high temperature. So make sure that any hot air or hot equipment is not too close to the right hand side of the oven. As for the CombiSlim models, it's again 50 millimeters, 2 inches around the oven, and that's because there's no electronics around, but all the electronics is on top of the oven. So any hot surfaces is okay to have a little bit closer than the 400 at the visual cooking model. But again, since the model, see if I got over here, just a second, just bringing you to the CombiSlim. This is the Combi Slim model. So when you will have a installation of such a model, please make sure that there is 100 millimeters above as a free space, but being that consideration that if you need to take the hood off, like this part, then it has to be adjustable at the same height to have this one removed up. We have the inspection hatches, as you see here, these panels, and they can be taken off, and you can enter the engine room from the side, because if you have with this model on an extraction hood or a Houdini, it's very heavy. So of course you don't like to be at your own on the task in the field and dismount this one to go into the engine room. So all the inspection hatches is here. For the connection of the visual cooking, I will not go so much deeply in the numbers, but in the documentation I will send to you, you can of course see how big the distances is for the drain connection. You will have the exhaust valve, and underneath, that's a dotted version. You will have a supply for electricity and water connection for these ones. You will all be able to see this and can dig deeply into it from the documents I will send after our meeting. There will be both for the smaller sized ovens like the 1 but also of course for the 2 ovens. The footprint is the same, and notice it's the same models, but for the gas versions you will have the gas connection in bullet number 6 here, and of course also for the 2 oven sizes. As for the water connection, both the inlet and of course the outlet, you will see from the bottom of the oven you will have those 2 threads in the solenoid valves. They will be located here at these 2, bullet 4 and 5. So this is these 2. The one at the rear end, this one, that is used for the hand shower of the oven and for the drain cooling, and that need raw water, supplied water. And number 4 is all water going inside the oven, used for steaming and cleaning cycles. And that is very important that part have a filtrated water inlet. So you need some water treatment for this, number 4. So that's the one in the front, this one. Of course, when water is let in, some water must come out. And this is the drain you will have. It's a 50 millimeter tube, and of course it has to be connected to the drain in the building, in the restaurant, and it needs to be with an open drain. So that's say basically that between the oven and the house installation drain, you need in some way to be able to see the water. I can give you an example. Combi Slim model that I showed you before, standing right here. See, we have down here, we got an open drain. That will say that you have the water outlet coming from this one, running into this canteen, so you are able to actually see the water. And viewed from the other side, the water will be running in from the canteen and through the hose, so you can see the water when water is running out. And then maybe you ask, why do you need an open drain? If if the house installation drain is clogged,
Hindi mo nakikita yung picture, sir.
is blocked of some
Hindi mo
kind,
nakikita tong
then
video mo.
then you need or
Nakapin
then
kasi sa
all
akin kanina eh.
water,
Pinin ko
wastewater
siya.
will go up through the oven, and maybe smell will go into the oven as well. That's one thing. The other thing is that moisture cannot escape from the oven, and
Hindi kasi nakapin kanina yan. Tanggalin mo
if
yung
the
pin.
end customer is
Pero nakapin,
cooking
no? Pinin
or
ko
trying
ano.
to dry out vegetables,
Tanggalin mo yung pin.
the moisture will not escape from the oven cavity. So it's an extra
Ulit.
way to
Kaya nga
remove
nakapin nga kasi.
the moisture from the oven cavity if needed. For the visual cooking, this is viewed from the bottom, as you see over here. You will have the big solenoid valve, that's for all water going inside the oven cavity, and the small one is for drain cooling in this pipe over here. So this pipe or this solenoid valve, that need to have a water supply with treated water, and this one does not need treated water. You will have down here, you will have a drain pipe that's 40 millimeters, and of course it also needs to have an open drain. So as I just showed you, it will be okay to just go directly into the drain or a canteen box, and therefore from there directly to the house installation drain. The small pipe over here, that's a 1-inch overflow. So if the drain is clogged, then there will be an overflow for this one. For the Combi Slim models, you will be able to have a hand shower as well. That will be mounted with this one. And this part here has to be, as shown here, from the back, mounted for this solenoid valve, and raw water coming in through here with this part. For the water connections, we need a total hardness of the water to eliminate lime scale. If the total hardness of the water is more than 3 DH Deutsche Harde, then you need to have a filter system that the water has to be treated, so there will be no lime scale inside the oven. Again, the water pressure, that's as a minimum for 2.5 bars and a maximum for 6 bars, and it's for a dynamic pressure. Say, why do we need a minimum of 2.5 bars? Not all installation has 2.5 bars, and the reason for 2.5 bars is due to this one, the installation rotor. If the rotor doesn't have a sufficient pressure from the water, it will not spin correctly or fast enough, so the cleaning system will not be sufficient enough. Therefore, 2.5 bars is, or as high as possible, is required, and a water flow for 12 liters per minute. What is your water supply pressure?
Ilan ba yung water supply natin? 20 PSI, 20 minimum 20 PSI?
How much is that in bars?
I don't know. I
Okay.
think it's a minimum of 20 then maximum of 60 PSI.
Okay, fair enough. For the water temperature, it's not required to have a hot water inlet. Normal water above around 20 degrees is just fine. If hot water if hot water is needed, it will be heated up by the oven. It's not only lime scale that we need to prevent by having some supplied water using a filtration system. We cannot accept high concentration of chloride and sulfate that will have a chemical reaction inside the cavity at the stainless steel. And so to avoid that, please insert a water treatment system to eliminate this. And for the chlorine, some in the past have used chlorine to clean the oven. That's a very, very bad idea, because it will very fast make the oven cavity full of rust. And if it's full of rust, it's the oven cannot be used anymore, and it's not covered by warranty. As for the drains in the roll-in ovens, the bigger models, there will be like this one as an open drain. You will have maximum 1 meter from the drain to the outlet in the household installation drain. If they use the steam function and have difficulties in getting rid of all the moisture, or the drain is too long, it can be an idea to mount or install a second chimney back of the oven. And to make a Venturi effect, it can be recommended to drill 3 small holes in approximately 8 to 10 millimeters in the bottom, so it will suck air in and the moisture will get out from the top. It will be a good solution on all models if they are using the steam mode a lot, and especially if they are drying vegetables. So if a customer complains about that the moisture will not get out of the oven very fast and they cannot dry vegetables, for example, it could be an idea to install an extra chimney like this one. If you have a Combi Plus model, like this one, is a 6-tray oven on top of a 10-tray oven, you must have 2 separate drains like this. If you connect them together, then moisture, hot air will move from one oven to the other, and that's not the intention. So therefore, please have the drains for each oven. One drain. So just to sum up, always install the Houno ovens with an open drain, as I showed you at our CombiSlim model. And the drain pipe must be at least 50 millimeters all the way. And the drain pipe, at least the first 1.5 meter has to be stainless steel, because hot temperature moisture air will come out from the drain. And if it's plastic PVC pipes, it can melt, bend. So please keep in high temperature resistant material. Of course, the decline must have the drain must have a decline of minimum 3 degrees or 5%. So all water will run through and go to the drain. And there have to be a functional drain nearby the oven, so not have a long drain pipe running through all the kitchen. Any questions so far?
None so far.
That's good. That means that you all know what I'm talking about, and that's nice. And if you have a gas oven, of course, a gas supply has to be added, connected. Please have a strap in the bottom. So if the kitchen staff is moving around the oven, there will not be a gas leak. So that's important part of that. The gas connection is just next to the water supply. The water supply is the red marked, and this is the gray part here. That's the electrical connection part. For the filter system, there is of course different ways in having filtrated water. The one we supply is for the water filters. You will see them in the background. And for the rest of the Houno Protect series, we have the detergent and the rinse and D-lime scaling liquids. A water treatment system, of course, has to be connected to the oven supply, water supply, if the water quality is pure or not good enough. If there is chemical in the water, it has to be treated to prevent rust in the oven, and also lime scale. Furthermore, to have the cleaning or the washing cycles fully functional, there need to be added detergent and rinse aid, and that's done behind the oven at the small chemical pumps. We have a blue hose connected, and that's marked with a blue dot next to the chemical pump, and that's for the rinse aid. And for the detergent is the red hose, also marked with a red dot, and you will see those chemical pumps in the right hand side of the oven. In the back end you have the drain just here. Once the oven is installed, it will be a good idea to go through all the functions of the oven, so verify that all parameters is correct and the oven is fully functional. And this, of course, is to secure the performance that is correct, working as intended, and of course the end user is having a 100% satisfaction and is ready to use the new oven. A good idea is to just show the customer how the oven works, how the customer has to start up the oven, hot air, and show some of the basics functionalities. If you install a gas oven, of course you need to do the installation and adjust the O2 and the gas, the O2 and the CO2 values. And you will be able to find it in these tables and numbers in the installation and service manual. I will not go so much into a gas system today, because we have a gas course, a seminar that is over 1 day. If you need, of course, we can have this, but it's a separate seminar. When a installation is completed, you will find this document, a 3-page document with all installation information in how to do it step by step, and you can also see if you've forgotten what's in step number 3, please go to the installation manual to see what's the explanation for that. If there will be a warranty case on a certain specific oven, we at Houno Technical Department will or can ask for this document to see how the oven is installed. A good way is to, of course, fill this form out, save it, and additionally have take some photos of the installations. That will be of a huge benefit for us in viewing the installation. There's of course a 4 years warranty for all the parts. So if any part is broken within the 4 years and the installation is correct, then of course it's possible to do an warranty claim. But and Levi has done that, so thank you for that. And then in dialogue with me, I will go through the warranty claims. If you have if you're able to take photos when you are at a restaurant or service call, please do so. It can be very valuable for us at Houno to see these pictures in terms of helping you with sorting out any issues for the ovens and service cases. When a new oven is delivered, it will be delivered with a service manual. It will have a installation manual and a installation and commissioning checklists. That's the 3-page document. You will also have a user manual and a Houno Protect manual. Just a second. I will just get one. Inside the oven will be a bag for this, and for this document you will have the installation checklist, and it can be of course filled out. It is also in our technical or in our website's login area, where it is in digital format. You will also have this manual book where you see all the manuals inside that you need. And if you need those at the laptop, they are also available for download at our website. So if you need an installation manual, you have thrown it away or it's gone of some kind, it can be downloaded to in digital format on your laptop. That's also for the service manual and the user manual. They can also be downloaded at our website. And I will, especially for service technicians, I will recommend to have the service manual part 2, where all troubleshootings are listed. So when you're going on a service call, just to have a guideline in how to troubleshoot the errors.